The flood myth is a common theme across all cultures. Every mythology has a version of it, whether it is from the Bible or ancient Greek, Sumerian, Japanese, or Chinese folk religion. In fact, it is also found among isolated indigenous tribes of Australia and America. This means that it has never been one story that traveled, but at some point, each culture had experienced a great flood that almost wiped out the civilization. The Hindu flood myth is one interesting story that has evolved from the Vedic times to the later Puranic stories. The earliest mention of the Hindu story comes from the Shatapada Brahmana, where it is explained in a ritual manual. The story begins with Manu, ancestors of humans, conducting a bathing ritual on a seashore. A small fish comes to his hand along with the water. The fish asks Manu to not let it go to the sea as bigger fishes are eating smaller fishes. This idea, called Matsya is the lawlessness, where the mighty trouble the weak. By saving the fish, Manu creates an example of civilization where the weak are protected. Manu keeps the fish in his jar and then in a pit as it grows. Ultimately, the fish grows bigger. Manu lets it go back to the sea. The fish in turn warns Manu of a flood that would destroy everything, including human civilization. The fish is none other than Prajapati, the creator god of the Vedas. He asks Manu to build a ship to save himself from the flood. When the time comes, Manu enters the ship, and now the giant fish saves the ship from breaking by tying a rope to its horn. Manu is saved and his ship is taken to the top of a mountain, tied to a tree. Now, as the flood slowly recedes, Manu offers a yajna ritual to the gods Mitra and Varuna. This becomes a manual for Vedic sacrifice for people. This ritual is seen as a revival of the human race. From this ritual is born Ida, a food product mixture of milk, curd, and clarified butter. She is personified as a woman and Manu's creation. Vedic gods Mitra and Varuna are attracted towards her, but she then becomes an ingredient for Manu's next sacrifice, which revives the human race and wealth, making the ritual unnecessary for seeking children and wealth. Gods like Varuna and Mitra cannot claim the offering unless it is given by the person conducting the sacrifice. The same story evolves in the Mahabharata, where the fish becomes an incarnation of Brahma, an evolution from Prajapati, and the 7 sages are also included in the ship for revival of humanity. The mountains where they take refuge are the Himalayas. By the time of Puranas, the story evolves further. In the Matsya Purana, the fish becomes an incarnation of Vishnu. Manu is now accompanied by his wife Shraddha, symbolizing faith. The mountains where they take refuge become the Malaya Mountains of Kerala. The flood takes a grand scale of global destruction, and the rope tied to the ship becomes Sheshanag. Interestingly, the sacrificial food, or Ida, from the Vedic text personified as Manu's daughter is fused with Ila, mother of Pururava, making Manu an ancestor of Chandravanshi or the lunar dynasty, while Manu's son Ishwaku becomes the progenitor of the Suryavanshi or solar dynasty. Various Puranas have different versions of this story. In the Mesopotamian mythology, the character of Manu is the Utnapistim, Vishnu is Enki, and the 7 sages have parallels in the 7 Apkalus. It is also interesting that the later iconography of Matsya, a half fish, half Vishnu, seems familiar to that of Apkalu, making the resemblance uncanny. Overall, Matsya mythology is used as allegories from the Vedic ritual manual to the literal origin of humanity, with various versions explaining different concepts. Hence, mythology is not to be taken literally, but as an explanation of concepts. Check out other episodes and videos from the series. This is Pranav signing off. Tada!